Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a review of Siteground web hosting. So I've been using HostGator for the last 8 years now, and essentially they're the first web host that I've ever used back in 2010, and I've been with them ever since. So I've got like 4 accounts with them. There hasn't been any major issue to make me want to switch, but I just wanted to test out Siteground because there have been a lot of rave reviews in like Facebook polls, like they've been rated among the top web host lately, and a lot of people are switching to Siteground. So I sort of just wanted to check out whether or not is it worth the money. Like, is it actually fast? Is the performance actually good? Is the customer support good? And sort of give you my honest review on it. Okay, so basically by the end of this video, I'm actually going to also show you, if you decide to go with Siteground, show you how to set up a website, blog, or e-commerce store using Siteground web hosting. Okay, I'm not going to show you the exact, the whole entire process, because I've got like 2-hour tutorials for that, but I'm going to get you started for your first website. Okay, so basically Siteground, my first impression of it was like in 2016. And in my opinion back then, it looked a little bit more technical to me, and it didn't really appeal to me. Like, the website was a little bit older than what they have right now, and the main color is green, which I don't really like that much. And sometimes I just, not colors that don't appeal to me, I don't really, feel like I want to buy into the brand. But with like HostGator and Bluehost, my favorite color is blue. So, I know it's kind of silly, but it's the truth. Like, sometimes I pick things based on color. So I didn't really think much about Siteground until a lot of people started using it, until it started popping up everywhere. So that's why I decided to test it out. Okay, so I've actually I bought a shared hosting plan, and the plan that I got was, I think, the Grow Big plan, where you can actually host multiple websites. And I bought that a few weeks ago, and I tested it. Okay, so in terms of the speed of the website, it is the fastest when you actually compare it to like Bluehost and HostGator. So about 1.9 seconds on average, whereas Bluehost was 1.97, HostGator was 2.06. Okay, so I tested these 2 times per location, and I picked the fastest one. And I also tested different locations, for example, Tokyo, Sydney, London, Sao Paulo in Brazil, and Frankfurt as well. So I tested these different locations because your customers might not be just based in the United States, right? So it might be based like overseas as well. So that's why I want to test the speed for what it's like for your overseas customers as well. So with Siteground, the data center, basically where your website files are stored, is located in Chicago. And a really good thing about Siteground is actually you get to choose the location. So I'm going to go over that a little bit later on. But with Bluehost and HostGator, their data center is just in the United States, and you don't get to choose, right? So in terms of speed, they're a little bit faster, but like not amazingly fast. And I basically tested it with websites as well. So I basically created 3 different websites, and they have the same theme and also the same plugins and the same content as well. And I tested it on a website called pingdom.com. You can also come to this website to test out your website speed if you have a website right now. But I tested it for all these locations here, and that's how I came up with the average, right? But I think the main really, really good thing about Siteground is actually the performance. So they are a little bit more premium in terms of pricing compared to the other web host, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that later on. But the performance is a lot better than Bluehost and HostGator. So what I mean by that is that I think they're using better sort of hardware. So that's why, like, if you actually navigate around WordPress, so for those of you who don't know what WordPress is, it's basically like a content management system to build out your website without learning how to code, right? So when you're actually turning on the builder and navigating around the website, it's just a lot faster. So it's sort of like a faster computer, right? Like, for example, when you go back to your dashboard, it just loads in an instant. So that's what I really, really like about Siteground. Like, when you click on pages and you want to add pages, like, it just loads super fast compared to like Bluehost. Like, when you click on add new, it just loads a little bit slower. and you can definitely feel the difference here. Okay, so it's sort of like this one is on HostGator. So if I click on add new, so it loads a little bit slower. So it's sort of like HostGator and Bluehost might be using a computer from 2016, whereas SiteGround is using like the sort of the newest computer, like for 2018. So I think that is one of the main reasons that you might want to go with SiteGround. The performance when you're actually building a website is a lot quicker, but in terms of load speed, there's not that much difference, right? So when it comes down to the customer support, you have to sort of log in once you're actually a customer for support, or you can start a sales chat. And I didn't really find that much difference in terms of like the speed of it and actually solving my issues. For example, I've tested like HostGator a lot of times. I've had some issues with them, but they normally solved it pretty promptly as well, and they answer my questions pretty promptly as well. And I've also tested Bluehost. There wasn't that much difference, to be honest. So for the customer support, I think it's pretty standard. They all offer 24/7 live chat support, and you can also call them as well, right? So now I want to discuss a little bit about the pricing, right? So what you're going to notice here, the pricing actually matches up pretty well against some of the top competitors like HostGator. Like if I click on back here, okay, so as you can see, $2.75 starting from here, $3.95, and with Bluehost, the pricing is very similar to these top companies. But what you've got to notice is that a lot of people don't explain this or tell you this, but they actually renew at sort of a higher pricing, right? So this one renews at $12 a month. So after the first year, it's going to be $12 per month, which basically means that is around 12 times 12, $144 per year, okay, for this startup plan. Okay, so for the Grow Big plan, $20 times 12 is about $240 per year. And when you actually compare that to HostGator's equivalent plan, okay, this one I believe is around $12 per month, okay, and you times that by 12, which is about $140 or so, okay. So this is about 12 times 12, $144. With Bluehost, it's 11 times 12, which is 132, I believe. Hopefully that's right. But with SiteGround, because you're getting a better performance and faster speeds, then you obviously have to pay a little bit more, right? So, so that's something that you have to take into consideration. I feel that SiteGround is more for people with the budget. Like if you have the budget, then go with SiteGround. If you don't have the budget and you're currently using maybe HostGator or Bluehost or another host and you want to speed up your website, what I do recommend is actually using a plugin called WP Fastest Cache, okay? So you can download actually a plugin called WP Fastest Cache, and you can activate it and turn on basically all the settings and then delete the cache, and then you're gonna test your website on this website here, and it normally speeds up your website by a lot, okay? And another thing that you wanna consider is make sure your website is not very like large. It doesn't have that many large files on it, okay? So like you want to keep it below 3 megabytes per page, ideally probably around 2, otherwise it's going to load really slowly if you have a lot of like images and pop-ups and all sorts of stuff like that. So I've also got a tutorial to actually speed up your website, so you might want to watch that tutorial first. If you followed my other tutorials and your website is loading slow, you might want to try that first, because I want you guys to save the most money, but also give you guys, just my honest opinion, right? So here is the Grow Big plan, and here is the Go Geek plan, and this one renews at $35 a month, okay? So basically, summing up, who is it for, like SiteGround? So in my opinion, it's for people who have the budget, then go with SiteGround, because you don't want to sort of move around, because that wastes a lot of time. Just like if you have the budget, then get the expensive leather sofa, because you're going to be using it for like 10 years, right? Rather than getting a cheap one and then half a year later or a year later, then you got to figure out what to do with it, and that takes time and money. So yeah, so if you have the budget, go with SiteGround, because they have better performance, and the speed is quite good. It's better than all the other people, but the pricing is a little bit more. So yeah, you get what you pay for, right? So if you don't have the budget, then you might consider Bluehost or HostGator. Okay, so there's something that I forgot to mention to you guys, which might actually help you make the decision to go with Siteground or not. It is that you can actually choose different data centers. So basically, if I actually click on Get Started, and I put in maybe some random domain name URL and just actually register one, sorry. Okay, the first thing is you can actually choose different extensions here, like for different countries. With HostGator and also with Bluehost, you don't really have these country-specific ones to sort of choose from, right? So this is a really good thing. And if we actually click on Proceed, then you can actually change the data centers, right? This is not something that the Bluehost or HostGator actually offer. And I think it's actually really, really good. So basically, like if your customer base is mainly based in the United States, then you would go with Chicago. The reason for that is because all your website files will be stored in Chicago. That means it's going to reach your customer a lot faster. If your customer base is, let's say I'm in Australia and I am a local business in Australia, then I would pick Singapore, okay? Because that is probably closer to Australia than the United States. And that way, the website's going to load a lot faster for my main audience, right? So this is something that HostGator and Bluehost doesn't offer, and I think that is really good. You can also sort of change the data centers if you actually purchase the plan later on for $30, I think. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the really big benefits that I forgot to mention. So what I'm going to do now is, if you actually decide to go with Siteground, then I'm going to give you like a quick little tutorial and show you which plan to choose for your blog or your e-commerce or your website, and go through the entire process of actually setting up your WordPress website so you can basically get up and running and start building your website right away. It's not going to be like a full-on like 2-hour tutorial showing you every single little step, because I do have other tutorials for that, but at least I'll get you guys up and running and and stuff like that. Okay, so below this video there's a link to Siteground, which is going to apply a discount, or you can type into the browser. So type in siteground.com/go/Hogan and then CHUA, and then click on enter. So that's going to take you to the shared web hosting plans. Okay, so the prices here are in Australian dollars, because I think it automatically directs me to the Australian website. If it directs you to the wrong sort of region, then you can select the region which you are located in. Okay, so for example, the price here for United States I think will be $3.95, $5.95, and I think $11.95 or something like that. And the regular pricing, I think that one was $11.95 here, $19.95, and $34.95. Okay, but because I'm Australia and Australia's the currency is a little bit smaller than the United States, so it's a little bit more. Okay, so here are 3 different plans. So the first thing that I want to say is that you can build a blog, a website, or an e-commerce store with either of these 3 plans. Okay, it doesn't really matter what plan you choose for that purpose. But the main difference between these 3 plans is that the starter plan only offers one website. So you can only create and host one website on the starter plan. On the Grow Big and the Go Geek, you can host multiple websites. So you can basically have your website, your parents' website, your friend's website, and a client's website. So you might have like 4 different websites on these plans, and you're paying still the $19.95 per month for the renewal. Okay, so if you do get the special price discount, and then it is really cheap if you can like host 4 websites. Okay, so here as you can see, it says suitable for 10,000 monthly visits. So this is just an estimate. If you like get more visitors, then you can also upgrade to a bigger plan later on anyway. Okay, so let's just say you get the startup plan for one website, and maybe like 2 months down the track you decide, okay, you want to create another website. Then you can actually upgrade to the plan within the customer dashboard area, which I'll show you in a second. really easily, and you'll still get the discount. So you don't really have to get these plans today, because you can still upgrade and still have that discount. It will be calculated accordingly. I think on a pro rata basis. I think that's a word for it. Okay. Here you get all the essential features. You've got everything that you need. But here you've also got the premium features. So let's say, for example, you might have your website on Bluehost. You can also ask them to help you transfer the website. You get priority tech support, and you also get something called Super Acacia for great speed. Okay. And they also do free backup and restores as well for your websites. So this one is a really good deal in my opinion, because you can host multiple websites. Just because, like, let's say if you can host 4 websites, then you divide the price by 4 basically. Okay, so here probably a little bit more than what you actually need, because this one is suitable for 100,000 visits, which is quite a lot if you're just beginning a new website. I think this one is pretty good for most people. Okay, you do get some geeky advanced features, which I don't think is necessary unless maybe you are like a web developer or something like that. But yeah, okay, so you can read more about it, but let's just go with the Grow Big and click on Get Started. And here you have 2 choices. You can register a new domain, or you might already have a domain. So you might have registered a domain on like GoDaddy or Namecheap, then you can select this. Okay, so once you select this, then you'll need to connect them to later on. If you do have any issues with that, so you can contact the chat support and they will help you with that. So here I am going to register a new domain. So this one might be site tutorial 123, and then you can select the extension. Okay, so I'm going to select .com, and then I'm going to click on proceed. Okay, so if it's available, then it's going to take you to the next page. Here you need to enter in your email address. So I'm going to enter in a new one because I've already registered an account, but I will go through and show you the exact process. So I'm going to get a new account with you guys as well. So I'm going to put in my address and put in a phone number, I guess. And then I'm going to scroll down, fill in my credit card details. Okay, and scroll down. Here you can change the plan if you decide to change directly. Okay, here for the data center, so this depends where your primary audience is located. If they are located in the United States, go with Chicago. If they are located somewhere in Europe, you might go with Amsterdam or London. So for Asia Pacific, you might go with Singapore, and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to select this one here. So for the period, I recommend going either the 12-month or beyond, because if you go for the trial, then it's going to be $32, and you're going to get the domain registration as well, which is about $50. If you get the domain privacy, which is basically the thing that helps you sort of hide your personal details, like your address, your email address, your phone number, and things like that from the rest of the world, then it's going to add up. So if you click on that, okay, so it's going to add up. If you select, let's say, the 12-month, it's just a better deal. Okay, so if you go for longer, then it's basically going to lock in the discount. Okay, so if you have the budget, then obviously the longer you are on the discount, the more money you're going to save. Okay, so I would at least go for the 12-month, but since I've already got a actual account with them, and I've got an account with like HostGator and also Bluehost, I'm just going to sign up for a trial. But you would probably go for a 12-month. Okay, so domain privacy, I recommend it, but it's not necessary. This is basically helps sort of monitor and checks your website. Let's say you might get hacked and someone might put bugs and stuff like that onto your sort of website. It's gonna let you know. Okay, so I normally don't select it. I've also got a tutorial to show you how to secure your website, and you can follow that tutorial for free. But if you do want to add an extra layer of security, then go ahead and select that one. Okay, so here is the subtotal and everything like that. Okay, and I'm gonna select on these two, and then I'm gonna click on Pay Now. Okay, so it should show something like your order has been successfully submitted. Okay, and basically you can click on here to proceed to the customer area. Okay, so they're also going to send you an email with your username and password to log in to your sort of SiteGround control panel, but we're going to click into here. Okay, so this will normally pop up, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to click on I don't need help, because I'm going to help you that right now. Okay, and for here it says, do you want to add the SiteGround site scanner? We're going to confirm. I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to complete setup. Okay, so this is your Siteground sort of customer portal area where you can manage your accounts. You can click and chat to the support staff. You can also click on the billing. So you can update your credit card. You can also cancel the services here as well. Okay, so if you actually click on the support tab, then if you have any issues, if you have any questions, like for example, you might want to add another domain name to your account, then you could be like, add on domain, and then click on search. Okay, and you can click on this and it'll basically walk you through how to configure it. Okay, so if you scroll down here, then you can click on here to transfer a website. You can scroll down here. These are the most popular things that people ask. Okay, and finally, if you need assistance, then click on here. All right, so if you scroll back up here, click on accounts, and then here you can click on upgrade. So for example, we're on the Grow Big account, but let's say if you click on upgrade, let's say you might be on the startup plan, so you might only have you can only build one website. Okay, so you can actually upgrade by paying the difference, right? So you can select the accounts and then you can basically pay the difference and upgrade instantly. So I think this is really good and really convenient. Okay, so you can go back to my accounts. And then I'm going to show you how to install WordPress. So WordPress is basically the platform that most people actually build their website, blog, and e-commerce store on. Okay, so we're going to go to information and settings. Okay, so if we scroll down here for the server location, okay, so as I said before, you can actually relocate it for $30. So you can actually change the location to like Singapore or London. Sometimes it depends on, like, maybe you expected your audience to come from the United States, but most of them come from like the UK or Europe, then you can relocate, right? You can also follow this to create an email address and things like that. Okay, so we're going to install WordPress. So we're going to do that by accessing the cPanel area. So you can either click on Access cPanel, or you can click on Go to cPanel up here. And then we're going to click on Proceed. You might remember this thing here and click on Proceed. All right, so here we want to look for WordPress. Okay, so here, click on WordPress. And we're going to install WordPress onto our domain name. All right, so you can either click on Install Now here, or click on Install here. All right, so everything here we're going to leave as default. Select the domain name that you have bought. All right, so here for the protocol, what I suggest is to choose the HTTP first, because I don't think we have actually enabled the SSL. So select this one first, and I'll show you how to enable the SSL certificate for your Siteground website sort of after when we've completed the tutorial. Okay, and then for the site name, you can actually put in like your name or something like that. I'm just going to type in logo. You can change this later on. You can put in a site description like tutorial or something like that. Scroll down. So for the admin account, this is going to be your username to log into your WordPress account. So I'm going to put in my username. I'm also going to set in a password. Okay, and for the admin email, you want to put in your email that you are currently using. Okay, because they're also going to send you the account details, right? So scroll down here for easy setup. Because I'm going to show you how to set up WordPress, we want to deselect that because it's actually going to install like some like plugins and stuff like that, which we don't really want. Okay, for your advanced options, just leave it as default. All right, and then click on install. So once that is done, okay, it should say congratulations. And if we actually go to the website, so let's just say open link in a new tab. Okay, so this is your WordPress website, the default, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to log in to this website here to actually configure and actually build our website or blog, right? So to do that, you can type in your website and then /wp-admin and then click on enter, okay? Or you can actually click on this URL here. All right, so here we're going to put in the username that you've set and also the password, and then click on login. Hopefully that is all right. Okay, so I'm going to close that. So whenever you want to log into your website, this is the sort of admin URL that you need to type in. So what I would do is I would actually bookmark that to my browser. All right, so this is your WordPress dashboard and basically where you control your whole entire website. Okay, so if we go here and click on visit site, then this is the default. Okay, so we want to completely change it, right? So you can actually build like a blog, a website, or e-commerce store using WordPress, and I'm going to show you the basics of it. I'm also going to leave the links in the description for my full tutorial on how to actually set up a e-commerce store, a website, and also a blog. All right, so what you might want to do is you might want to actually just click on those links and it'll actually direct you to the time where I have just installed WordPress, and then you can just follow along and build your website. Okay, but right now I'm going to give you like a quick 10-15 minute overview of how to set up your website. So yeah, all right, so we're going to close everything here. We don't need them. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to configure some settings. So hover over settings, click on permalinks. Here you want to make sure you select post name. Okay, so this is just for search engine purposes. You want your page title and the post to be in the URL rather than having something like this, right? Scroll down and save changes. Okay, so if we actually go to users and click on users, this is where you can add additional users to your WordPress website. So for example, you might have someone who edits your website, so you might create a new user name for them. Okay, so we're gonna go through each of these tabs. So for plugins, so if you click on plugins, plugins actually add additional functionality to your WordPress website. So for example, a plugin is something like, let's say on your phone you have apps, right? You have like social media, you have productivity, you have gaming apps, all sorts of apps. Plugins are essentially the same thing, and you can click on add new, and here are all the different plugins. So there are thousands and thousands of different plugins. You can click on the popular and also the recommended, and you can also search for plugins. Okay, so whenever you want to add some additional functionality to your WordPress website, then you sort of want to do like a search for like maybe like a booking plugin, right? And then a booking plugin might come up, right? And then you would install it and activate it and add it to your website. Okay, so let's just say you want to build a e-commerce store, then you need to install the WooCommerce plugin, right? This adds the e-commerce functionality to your WordPress website. It basically adds like additional functionality, so you can like add in like products, you can add in like the payment settings to receive payments and stuff like that, everything like that, right? So I'm gonna show you how to add in a plugin later on, so we're gonna leave that for now. Okay, so if we click on appearance, this is where you can add a theme, right? So this is the default theme. It's like quite old and stuff like that. This is 2015, 2016. Click on add new. And if you scroll down here, here are some of the featured themes that you can add, right? So you can add and install and activate these themes onto your website. And it's basically going to add a specific sort of appearance to your website, right? So for example, let's just say you like this one here, right? Or you can click on popular, latest ones and favorites, but let's just try this one and install. click on activate. And if we actually go to visit site, then you're going to see that the whole entire website has changed, right? So it's changed, like it's added like the specific color and specific look to it, right? So you can actually use any of these free themes. Most of them are actually free, but you sort of have to pay for premium features because you know, the theme developers have to make some money, so they create free themes for you. For additional features, you normally have to pay. Okay, so you can click on dashboard and go back to themes, and you can add in any theme that you like, right? But the theme that I use and that I'm going to go through with you now is Themify Ultra, which is a premium theme, but I have permission to actually share it with you guys for free. So you have the option to like update and get like supports if you want to, but I really think, you know, starting off with Themify Ultra is like a good start because you can actually build anything that you want, right? With each of these themes, they sort of have a set appearance, and it's sort of hard to adjust, right? It really depends on you. Some of you might want to go with these themes because they're like pre-built look, and that's fine, but I'm going to give you a tutorial on what I use, right? So I'm going to click on add new, and below in the description, I'm going to include a download link for the theme download. All right, so for the theme download that onto your computer. Okay, so it's going to look something like this, themify-ultra.zip, right? Sometimes it might be like in a folder, then you might need to right click and compress it back to the zip file, right? Let's go back here. Let's click on upload theme, choose file, and upload Themify Ultra.zip. It has to be the .zip, and then you want to click on open, install, and that is uploading on the bottom left, as you can see. Okay, so once that is done, click on activate. And then for the skins and demos, we're going to close it, okay? And Themify Ultra will show up, Themify settings, this is where you can control your theme, right? If we go to and visit our website, this is what it sort of looks like. Okay, so it's sort of very, very plain, where you can customize all the colors, everything that you need to do with your website. Okay, so let's go back here to dashboard, and here pages. So click on pages, and we're going to add in some pages. So click on add new. So a page would be like, for example, you want to create first of all your home page. Whoops, going to delete that home page, and then we're going to click on publish, and then we're going to add in a new one. So we can add in like an about page, a services page, a FAQ page, any page that you like. So for example, let's do about, publish, add new. We're going to do maybe a services page, add new, and maybe let's do a contact page and publish. All pages, and this is where you can manage the pages. Okay, so let's go to visit site, and as you can see, we've added in the pages here. All right, so we're going to click on home, and that's going to take us to our home page, but we sort of want our home page not to have this extension on the end. So we need to click on customize, and we need to set it in properly. So click on that. And Themify options is basically where you can actually change the color for each of the sections of your website. So you can actually change your logo, you can, you know, change everything, which I'll show you briefly later. So click on back, click on homepage settings, click on a static page, and for the home page, set in home. And then we're going to click on publish and close. All right, so our home page now, if we click onto it, then it's just going to be our domain name. Okay, so how do we actually set in our layout for our pages? Like, how do we change the header? how do we change the footer section and how do we add like content in the middle. Okay, so to do that, you can go back to your dashboard, and then what you want to do is you want to go to Themify Ultra, Themify Settings. And what I like to do is I like to open it in a new tab so I can see what we're doing. So let's click on Default Layouts, Default Page Layout. And then what we want to do is we want to remove the sidebar and the title. Okay, so go back and select no sidebar, hide title, and also disable page comments. Save. Okay, so once you've done that, let's give it a refresh. And that looks pretty good, right? So how do we change the header? So go back here, go to the theme settings, and look for theme appearance. Okay, so here is where you change the header design, right? So you can choose from more than a dozen header designs. What I like is the header top bar here, okay? And you can click on save. Let's refresh the page, and that's done, right? So I'm gonna remove this here, the site tagline, the RSS icon, and also the search bar, but that's up to you. So to do that, you can actually go back here, exclude the site tagline, exclude search, RSS, and then save. Okay, and then you can refresh, and then you're pretty much good to go. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to set in our menu. Okay, so we're going to arrange the menu properly. So go to Customize, and then what we want to do is click on Back, click on Menus, create new menu, and for the menu name, just name it Top Nav. Okay, you can name it whatever you want, but Top Nav for top navigation. Select Main Navigation for the main navigation on the top. Footer navigation is on the bottom. So click on Next. Okay, so we're going to add in the items. So click on Add Items and select the pages that you want to display. So I want to display About, Services, and Contact. Okay, so you can add in additional pages, or you can create a drop-down menu by clicking it and putting it under the thing that you want to drop down from. Okay, so we're going to put it back like that, and then what we want to do is just click on Publish, right? So that's going to set in our top navigation menu. So whenever you add in new pages, then you can click on Add Items and then add in a new page as well, right? You can also select it so it's automatically going to add new pages directly to the menu as well. So you can select that if you want to and click on Publish, right? So we can click on Back here and close. Okay, so for the footer section here, let's say for example you want to edit the footer section, go back to your Themify settings and theme settings, scroll down to the footer design. So you can choose the footer designs based on what you want. Okay, so what I want to do is, let's say you want to remove the back to top button. So you can click on Exclude Back to Top, and let's say we save it and then refresh it, and then that's looking really, really nice and simple, right? So how do you remove this thing here? Go back here to scroll down to footer text, and for the footer text too, disable that and save. Let's refresh the page, and that is looking really good, really simple, and pretty much ready to start building, right? So I'm going to show you a few things with the builder, and then I am going to show you how to set in the HTTPS. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn on the builder, right? So hover over the green icon here, you can click on the lock, and each of these modules you can drop in. So it's like drag and drop. So you can add text, you can add video, you can add testimonial sliders, you can add images, anything that you like, right? So for example, what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how to create sort of like a hero image that you might see on like really popular websites like Apple, right? How do you create an image like that? how do you add some text, and how do you add some buttons. So just the most basic stuff that you need to know. So the first thing that we need to do is actually get an image, right? So you can actually go to a website. Let's go unsplash.com. And we want to look for some images. So these images you can use for your website, and you don't have to credit people. You can use it for personal or business. So let's look for a really nice hero image. Maybe let's type in like landscape. Wow, this one looks really, really good. This one looks really good as well. This one looks good. Let me think. Okay, let's just try this one here, I guess, or maybe this one. Okay, so download that to your computer. Okay, so download that to your computer and save it. Right. So once you actually download that to your computer, right? If you actually click on get info, then that image is like 6.2 megabytes. That's way too big. You want to crop that image. So go to a website called photo.com. And click on edit photo. Okay, let's click on open computer and upload that image. And let's crop that image so the image size isn't that big. So this is the image size here, okay, on the left, on the bottom, sorry. And what we're gonna do is click on resize. Make sure the lock icon is selected. Type in 1600 for the width, okay? So that's pretty good size for a hero image. And then you want to click on apply. Okay, so you can also click on crop if you want to sort of reduce the height of it as well. So let's just say you want to, get it down to, let's say 900. I think that's pretty good. Maybe something like that. Okay, 900. Click on apply. Okay, save it. And I think we need to connect with Facebook or something like that. So I might do that. Okay, so once you've done that, then we can save it. Let's save it as hero. And you can save it as normal or high. I think normal is pretty good. Download it. And save it. Okay, let's go back to our website. Let's hover over the purple, right? So that's for the row. And let's click on styling. Okay, let's click on the background. And background type, I'm going to select image, but you can select gradient. You can add a YouTube video, so you can put in a YouTube link here. Okay, so we're going to upload and click on browse library. Make sure you select browse library, select files. Let's upload the image. And let's click on insert file URL. Okay, for the background mode, let's select full cover. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on padding. Okay, so we're going to add some space. As you can see, you can't see that image. So what we're going to do is click on all. And let's add in maybe 15 and change that to percent to the top. And let's change this one to 15% for the bottom. You can also drag and move this. So you can move this to the right as well, like that. Okay, I'm going to deselect that. So I might add a little bit more padding. So let's just say 20%. Just click and drag it up and click on done. So you got an image there, right? So if you want to have like a full size image that goes from the left to the right, you want to click on the hover over the options here, and you can select the width to full width, right? So you can change it back to defaults, or you can go full width like that, right? So let's add some text to the middle. So let's add some text. So this is your hero text here. You want to select heading 1, and you want to go to styling. You want to select font, and you can change the font color. Okay, so any color. So I'm going to select white, and I'm going to align it to the center like that. Okay, and I'm going to click on the heading. Okay, we've set this to heading 1, so you want to click on heading, and you want to change the font size to, let's say, 100. Okay, and you can make it bold or whatever you want. You can also change the font family. So by default, it's Open Sans. You can set it to, let's say, 700. It makes it bold. Okay, I think that's fine. And I'm gonna click on, let's say, done, right? And that's the text there. Okay, so let's just say you want to add a button. So you can look for a button module, you can drop one there. You can select the size of the button. Okay, you can also select the type, okay, rounded or something like that. I like that one. You can do an outline, okay, and here you can do a button text. So like, you know, maybe enter, and here is the link. So depending on where you want to link it to, you need to paste in the link. So let's say you want to link it to Apple or something. Normally you're going to link it to like another page on your website, like services. So I'm just gonna put in Apple for now, and you can put in there. You can change the color. You can add in an icon. You can also click on styling, button link, and you can customize the color more. We're not going to do that for now. Let's just go to styling, font, and maybe align to the center like that. Click on done. Okay, so that's very simple and very easy. You can also double click the image to edit the row. Go to styling. You can do a row overlay. For example, if you want the text to pop a little bit more, you might want to add like a gradient or a color overlay, like select black. Okay, and change the opacity down to like maybe 15%, like that. Click on done, and then you've got a nice hero image that you've just created. So click on save, and if we want to preview, you can click on preview. You're going to notice a huge gap here, right? So how do you remove the gap? Click on back end, and it's going to take you to the back of the website, to your page, right? And then here you can click on the page options, select full width, update, and go back to view your page. And then you've got a really nice hero image, and you can add some text here, a button. You can turn on the builder again, and you can, let's say you can drop in a featured module or anything like that. What you can also do is you can also set in the amount of columns, right? So you can set in, like, hover over here, the purple, 3 columns, right? So you might do like a featured module like that, okay? And then you can add your text here. You can play around with the settings. As I said, you can watch the tutorials that are left in the description below. That's probably the best idea, because I just want to briefly show you the builder. Click on done. And let's say you want to duplicate it, you can. Okay, just move it over like that. Right, so it's probably too close to the image. So what you can do is, okay, add some padding to the row. So click on row styling, padding. Okay, so let's set maybe like 10% to the top or something like that. Or it might be like 5%, that's up to you. So let's just try 5% and 5% here. And click on done. You know, that's pretty good. So you might want to add like text on the top, like saying it's services. So what you could do is like click on rows. I'm going to add in 1 row on top, maybe like here or something like that. So we're going to drop in, let's say, a text. So here, let's put it here. Let's see if that works. Services, change it to heading 2. You can align it to the center by using this one here as well. Let's click on done. Let's click on preview. Too close. Let's add a little bit of padding. So you can do that to the row. So double click the row. Styling. Padding. Let's add 5% to the top. Something like that, right? So it's really simple to sort of build your website. So you can add in like images, you can add in video, testimonials, anything that you want. Okay. So if we click on save, and if we close it, then, you know, that is like a simple website that you have done in about 10-15 minutes. Okay. So you can actually share this URL with your friends and family, and they can actually see the website that you created, right? So what I'm going to show you is a little bit more additional features that you might want to know. If we click on the About page, you can click on Turn on Builder, And you can also click on load layout, and here are some of the pre-created layouts that you might be sort of interested in. So you can actually load it up. So I'm not sure why it's not showing right now at the moment, but normally it should show up, or maybe there's too many. Okay, now it's up. So you can look through the templates that you might like, and let's say you want to import this about, click on it, append, and that's gonna import the layout for you, right? So all you need to do is change the images, change the text, change the links, and you have a layout ready. So double click, like about me, oops, about me, like that, done, save it, and you can close it, right? So that's looking really, really good, really, really awesome. Okay, so if we click on contact, I'm going to show you how to use a plugin. So we're going to download a contact form plugin. So go to dashboard area and go to plugins. Okay, click on add new, and we're going to search for contact form 7. We're going to install this one here, over 1 million downloads, installation, sorry, and click on activate. All right, so click on the contact here, okay, and what you want to do is you want to click into here. Okay, so here you can change your form fields. Okay, so you can add additional fields as well. You can check out the FAQ and docs if you need to. Click on mail tab and make sure to set it to your email. Okay, so it should be set up there. This is the shortcode that you'll need, so copy that and let's just save that for now. Okay, so you can copy the shortcode to your clipboard, and let's say we go to visit site and click on the contact page, turn on the builder. You might want to drop in a text module to add contacts. You might want to select maybe something like this one. Okay, so we're going to put the contact form in there. So what you need to do is grab a text module. Let's just paste in the shortcode. Okay, and that's going to load your contact form. So people can use this to actually contact you. Click on save and close. All right, so that's your contact form. If we click on services page, there's also something really cool. So turn on the builder. You can also add in rows, which are pre-created. So you don't have to create add in a specific entire layout. You can import specific rows to edit, right? So you can use this one here, or maybe let's have a look. Maybe something like, let's find a good one. Maybe something like this one. Okay, so you can select it, click it, and then just drop it in there and let it go. All right, and that's your your hero image. You can click on the plus again, so you can add in another row. Let's say you want to add in maybe something like this one, the menu. Just drop it in there like that, and there you go. Click on save. You can also zoom out. Okay, which is really, really awesome. And then we can save it and close it. Okay, so there's space there. You need to click on edit page, and you need to, let's say we want to click on full width and update. Right, so let's say you want to add some blog post. You want to be blogging and stuff like that. So what you need to do is click on posts. Okay, so this is a default blog post apparently. So let's click on view, and this is what a default blog post looks like. All right, so we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna delete this one, so trash it. Click on add new, and here's your blog post title. So it might be the top 10 travel locations in Bali, or I don't know, that's a random title, but top 10 places to visit in Bali. Okay, so here is where you're going to type in your blog post. So let's just grab some random text. Okay, and let's just copy that to pretend that is a blog post and paste that in. Okay, And here you can actually add in media, so you can upload images, so upload files, select files to add in like your images that you've taken and stuff like that. What I recommend is like cropping that images to like a smaller size, otherwise it's gonna take too much space and load slowly. You can also add in videos as well by pasting in a YouTube URL. So let's say you want to paste in like a video, like you've uploaded a video, then you can get this and just copy the URL. All right, and go back here and let's just paste it in like that. Okay, and the video will pop up. You can add a category, and type in travel, add new, add some tags, set in a featured image as well. That's what I recommend. And we're gonna click on publish, right? So once that is done, you can click on the website, the URL, and here you have your blog post where people can leave a comment and stuff like that. Okay, so you can also edit this area, which is called a widget area. So to do that, you can hover over here, click on widgets, and here are all the available widgets. All right, so you can use the available widgets. You can click it and sort of drag it and put it into here, right? Or you can delete the existing ones by clicking on delete, like that. Okay, so let's just delete some to show you an example. You can do like maybe like a text widget. Okay, so you could do like about me. Hi guys, my name is Hogan and I love to travel. All right, so click on save, click on done, and then we can click on visit site. So what you're going to notice is your blog post doesn't show up, right? So how do you actually display your blog post? You can display it in a few ways. So you can create a new page called blog, or you can display it any way you like, basically. So you can turn on the builder. Let's just pretend this page is a blog page. Hover over here, the green icon, and click on post and drag it into wherever you want. And then that is going to display your post like that, like your blog post, right? So if you have a featured image, then it's going to show up an image, which is going to look really cool. And you can change the display settings and stuff like that, and then click on done. So that's how you display your blog post. So if we click on save and close, then if we click into that, then that's going to direct us to the blog post. You can edit the widget area, and here's your video, and you're good to go, right? So let's go back here. And how do you actually change the colors and fonts for the entire website? What I recommend you do is click on customize, and that's going to automatically take you to themify options. Click on the advanced options tab. Okay, and here you can click on site logo. You can upload a site logo. You can also change the header color section here, the header background color. So like you can change it to like, let's say like a dark gray. Okay, and then you can also change the main navigation, which is here, the main navigation link color, to a white color. Okay, like that. You can also change this color here, which is the logo. So you can hopefully you can change it there to, let's say, white. See if it works. Okay, so that doesn't work. So we need to change the header link color. So let's find the header link and change that to white. Okay, and that's how you change it for each of the sections. This is the sticky header, where you scroll down, so you can look for sticky header and change the colors. You can also change the footer colors and everything like that. You can also edit the blog post. What I do recommend is staying with just one font. So you can click on body font and you can change the fonts here. Okay, just one font for the entire website. That's what I recommend. You don't need that many fonts to make it look good. Let's just delete that for a second. And let's try Open Sans. Okay, and then you can change the font weight to normal, to bold, and stuff like that, right? So yeah, make sure to follow my other tutorials. I don't want to make this one too long, otherwise it's going to be like 2 hours. And I think that is pretty much it. So to get the HTTPS, what you need to do is you need to go back to your control panel area for your SiteGround. Go to My Accounts. Okay, and then you can go to, I think, the control panel again. And what you want to do is look for Let's Encrypt. Okay, so it's under Security. And what you want to do is here, you actually want to select the SSL and activate it. Okay, so what's it going to do? It's actually going to be put into an installation queue once you do select and activate it. Okay, and it's probably going to take like half an hour or an hour or so before the status is actually active. Okay, once it's actually active, then what you need to do is you need to come back here and select HTTPS. Okay, and make sure to select on for that to enforce it, and select this on as well. Click on OK. And once you've done that, then once you actually refresh your website, then it should actually appear here. Okay, so if you have any troubles or anything like that, so you can contact the customer chat support and stuff like that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do is actually log out from our website, and we can view our website. Okay, so that is your first website up and running. Obviously, I haven't shown you to build like the best website in the world, but if you put some time and effort into it, you can build anything that you want. And hopefully you guys found some massive value in the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. So my name's Hogan, and see you guys in the next tutorial.